It's the little things that count when it comes to supersizing your business. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here with a teeny tiny little bitty book, and it's actually a real book. I have no way of reading it. It was just like a blur to me. But even with the magnifying glass, even with the super duper, the Santa Claus magnifying glass, I don't know that I could read it. But the point is, little things mean a lot. Little things make a difference. It's the little things that really count in growing and building our business, but in our lives as well. This is one of my favorite expressions and favorite sayings, maybe because it's by one of my daughter's favorite authors, Kurt Vonnegut Jr. And he said, and you may recognize it from the movie Zombieland, if you've ever seen that silly piece of work. And he says, enjoy the little things in life because, I'm gonna have to take a peek, because one day you'll look back and realize that they were the big things. Now I kind of meat axe that, but it's a sentiment I like to think that I live by. Now, I am not by nature a detail-oriented person. And the point of this idiom, the point of this expression is to enjoy the little daily things, the little things that we do, the habits that we have, the things that we create in our business and in our lives, because they are the things that are the building blocks for everything else that we create. And they're the things that really, really matter. It's like building things on a solid foundation. If we build our house or our business on a shaky foundation, or we skip some of the steps or some of the things that are necessary to have as a part of our foundation for our business, it's very hard to build a big, scalable, supersized business on top of that. The same is true of a house. If we build our house on a sandy or shaky or California falling into the ocean type location, we may find that we don't have a house anymore. So what and why is it important to pay attention to the little things? And then we'll talk a little bit about how you can go about doing that. I'll just share a handful of why we want to pay attention to the little things, and then a handful of how we can go about doing that in our business and, of course, in our life as well. Because our businesses only scale and grow as big and become as big and as amazing as we, as the owners, will allow them to be, allow them to become, allow them to build. It's sad to admit, but the biggest bottleneck in any business, with the thousands and thousands of small business owners I've worked with, and including me and my own businesses, the biggest bottleneck in any business is always the owner and our willingness to let things go or delegate or let things grow on their own and just oversee them, and our ability to step back and take off our entrepreneur hat and our business starting hat and actually become the CEO and the just overseer of the business, not that I have to have my hands on everything and do everything ourselves, owners of the business. So why is it important to pay attention to little things? Why do I love little things? I actually love little miniature small things. I always have. I've always found them fascinating and interesting. Thus, my attraction to this teeny tiny book my son gave me. And I have lots of little things around me, as you can see by the clutter. And I find them comforting, and I don't know where that comes from. Just one of my, probably from when I was a kid. I like to, there's a joke in a story. My dad's passed away, but my mom still tells every once in a while, much to my dismay, about when I was a little girl, I would have Band-Aid boxes. Remember those metal Band-Aid boxes? And I could fit all treasures that I would accumulate throughout my day into this Band-Aid box. And they joked, and I really can, fit more into a Band-Aid box than anybody else they've ever seen in their life. And I could do the same thing with packing a car, moving, packing a business, packing a storage unit, etc. It's just a very unique, strange skill, but I think it's because I like tiny things and I like to see how you can pack them in and together and make the best use of space. So why are little things important? Well, little things are important because, for many reasons, but they keep us from getting overwhelmed by the bad stuff. Bad stuff and good stuff happens in our lives all the time. And by appreciating and being grateful for and paying attention to the little things, when the bad things come, we've already built up our resilience and we've built up our ability to handle and deal with the bad things because we know this too shall pass. I think that one of the things that's helped me with COVID-19 is the whole this too shall pass and all of the littler things I've had to deal with in my life leading up to COVID-19. COVID-19 for me was barely a blip on my radar for my business and for my life because of all the other stuff that's happened to me in the past. I just was, okay, well, that just happened. What next? What are we going to do now? And by paying attention to the little things along the way, we're prepared for the big things when they come. Number two, it teaches us critical life lessons. The little things that happen in our life teach us life lessons that, again, we can use when we have bigger life lessons. Number 3, it strengthens our relationships. The little things are what are really important in relationships. I find it fascinating. And everybody is different, but for the most part, with respect to relationships, it's the small things that we do consistently that really nurture and build and contribute to the relationship. You know, some people think it's the big grandiose things that you do, and this is, I believe, a difference between a lot of men and women. It's not straight delineation, but I have found in my experience, and it's only in my experience, that men believe that if they just do big things, then they're covered. But women appreciate the little bitty things, at least I do, that people do for me. You know, I appreciate the little things that my kids do for me. I appreciate the little things that people I work with and interact with do for me. I don't need big, grandiose gestures. I like the little things and the little personal touches. And many people do. So it strengthens our relationships. Number 4, it leaves us some of the most important moments of our life. Some of the most important moments of our life are, you know, sitting up with our babies or our grandchildren at night. Some of the most peaceful, quiet, beautiful moments that we remember are those that we don't even hardly acknowledge because they don't seem like a big deal. They just seem like the everyday things. And it's the everyday things that create our lives. And 5, they lead us to the bigger things in life. The little things accumulate and add up to the big things in life. If we start out in our business paying attention to little details, paying attention to our customers, paying attention to what they need most, paying attention to the way we deliver that to them and they experience the way we deliver it to them, if we build systems around those things, all of a sudden what we did for 1 or 2 people, we can do for thousands and thousands of people, because we can duplicate the little things we did in the beginning and we can supersize and grow our business based on those. So how do we go about enjoying the little things? What's a handful of ways that we can go about enjoying the little things? Well, what if we keep track of the small things? I think we talked about this yesterday or in the last week or so. Keeping a gratitude journal, keeping a gratitude jar, doing some kind of a gratitude process, noticing the little things and actually being grateful and thankful and appreciative for them. We can, secondly, thank somebody for the small things that they do. Actually acknowledge and notice the small things that people do for us. My daughter does amazing things for me every day, but you might say thanks. I say thanks, but I forget to sometimes especially acknowledge the great things that she does for me. Number 3, compliment someone on the small things. There we go. The next thing. Forgot my list. So thank people, appreciate, notice, and then compliment them. Let them know that you appreciate it. Number 4, appreciate yourself for the small things that you do. Guess what? We all have little things that we do every day that are moving our business in the direction we want it to go. We need to acknowledge ourselves for those things and appreciate the little things that we do every day that cause our business and our life to go in the direction we want and our business to scale and become what it is that we want it to become. And finally, 5, live in the moment and be present and appreciate the little things. So often, excuse me, as we're building our business, as we're starting out, we run around like chickens with our heads cut off, a lot of us, not everybody, but some of us. And then as we grow in our building and scaling, we forget to take a breath, celebrate and appreciate ourselves for all of the amazing things that we do, the choices that we make, the decisions we make, the partnerships we form, the relationships we have, the things that we do and help our business to grow and scale. So remember to appreciate yourself along with everybody else. And remember, it's the little things that build up to create exactly what it is that we want. It's those single daily actions. It's those things that we consistently do. It's us showing up and being the example for other people that helps and actually does the most to contribute to our ability to scale our businesses. Love to know your experience with this particular idiom or expression. It's the little things. I personally, like I said, I love small things, but I also know that it's the little things that support the big goals, the big dreams, the big objectives that create, because it's the little action steps. It's the things we do every day that are the foundation and the building blocks for the big things that we want. And that includes scaling and supersizing our business. Love to know your experience with this. What do you think about the little things? What the little things are for you? What are the most important little things for you? I know what they are for me, but I want to know what are they for you. If you want to know what mine are, just ask. Otherwise, go out, make it an awesome day. Pay attention to the little things today. And I will, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it in your business to supersize your business? Because that's what we're here for. And maybe even in your life. Have an amazing day.